Okay, good people. I hope you are well and winning. My name is Godfrey Kadzere, aka Godfrey Tuffy, the host with the most on the winning podcast called Love on a Podcast. And I'm with Chiedza on this podcast. Chiedza, aka Venekai, aka.
I'm trying to match the energy.
It's the vibes for me. It's the vibes for me. I'm gonna have my phone today, guys, just so that we can keep track of time, because being timely people is exciting. But yeah, ma'am, welcome, guys. Let me introduce this woman.
Don't mind how I'm sitting, guys. It's just,
no, be comfortable. It's a conversation. We're here.
I'm here. I'm within.
Guys, Chiedza is, she's a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine. We've been friends for a couple of years. I think about 4 years now.
True say?
Yeah, about 4 years. I know her as an author, a writer. I also know her as a interior design student. I also know her as a liker of things. Godly things. Just to clarify, she's a fellow liker of things, guys. So that's me introducing this amazing woman who's going to join us in a conversation about storytelling.
Glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Shout out.
Thank you so much.
Shout out.
Honored.
I hope I didn't leave anything in introducing you. If I did, please fetch me and correct me.
No, that's about it. That's what I do. That's who I am.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, storytelling. Let's give me your first impressions on storytelling. What are we doing? Where are we on that?
So, storytelling for me, I think, just comes from just loving to tell a story. I think even in like conversation, I'm trying to make this interesting. But it speaks to more of wanting to share an emotion. I think that for me is what I've learned through the writing that I was doing, just like sharing an emotion and drawing out of people an emotion. I especially like to make people laugh, to exaggerate things. I think I love Shauna for that reason. Like you can literally make just something so small, like, woo, and people are like, dude, why? Why are you doing that? And I'm like, yeah, no, but, so I think I like to make people laugh. When I was writing, I was doing romance. You want people to feel like love, and just like, okay, and healthily, because I think that's what I wasn't seeing a lot of. Like people, love gets trash out there. I think it's given such like a bad rep. So I just really wanted to have like something that would make people feel good, wholesome content. So that's I think that answers your question. Storytelling.
No, I'm here for it. If it's your first impression, if it's just your initial thoughts on it, that you've responded spectacularly.
Excellent.
I'm excited about, because you're touching on narratives.
Yeah.
You're touching on influence.
Yes.
Believe it or not, you're an influencer. Yeah. I think so. I mean, if people are gonna read your work and it evokes emotions, if it evokes or triggers or activates certain thoughts, you're influencing them to see life in a different way, to see love in a different way, which I'm more interested in, if I can say, considering that we are on Love on a Podcast.
Do you see what I did there?
Oh, nah. Like, I'm here for it. So that's very exciting. I believe it is exciting to see how a story can evoke.
Yeah.
It can even provoke.
Yes.
What have you learned in your experiences, especially with provoking?
I'm trying to think, do I provoke people?
Don't provoke me to hunger.
Or else you'll be dead. Love it.
You were not ready for that.
I'm always ready.
Oh,
I was prepared.
Pardon me.
I was prepared.
I'm glad.
But I'm trying to think, because I was writing fiction.
Yeah.
I don't think I made people cry. That I do. I mean, people comment and they're like, "Oh wow, this is like deep and beautiful," and like, "Wow." I don't think I have provoked people, but only because I was specifically writing things. I was writing things for the heart. You know what I mean? Just like soft stuff that makes you just want to like smile and cry because you're so happy. You know, that just love, man.
Yeah.
So I think that's just what I wanted to write. I think in my other forms of writing, because I do like WhatsApp statuses and stuff like that, in my earlier days, like you do want to say things to kind of push people to have a response, to think, okay, wait, I don't like that. Or like, you're coming for me. And I'm like, yes, feel attacked.
Yeah. Yes.
But so I think fictionally, no. I think in other forms of writing and storytelling, it's been like that, where I'm like, okay, I want to have people have a reaction. I don't want you to just like read and be like, oh, okay, cool. You know, you want to be like, hold up.
It's got to get you thinking. It's got to inform your decisions. It's got to inspire you to see beyond.
100%.
I'm here for it.
That's it.
I'm here for it. I'm big on. I wanna just kind of dive in or double click on more things just to unpack and set the foundation.
Yeah.
Your name is Chiedza.
Yes.
Chiedza means
light.
Yeah. Illuminate. Radiate.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Do you see that in your work? So as I was introducing Chiedza, guys, Chiedza, as far as I know, I don't know if she has any other secret streams of income or what, if she has like side hustles, but she's a storyteller through writing. She's a storyteller through interior design, right? Do you see light in your work? Do you see light in what you love doing?
So let me expand further first of all. So my full name is Venekai-Chiedza. Full name hyphenated, like the whole thing. So I don't just focus on light. I actually focus on the whole statement, because the Venekai plus the Chiedza then means shine the light.
Come on.
So for me, with writing, I was like, no, I want to shine the light on healthy love and seeing the responses and how people reacted to that. It was on an online platform, so that's how, like, you can really see people commenting and stuff like that. You can see people really enjoying the wholesome content. I mean, this is in the world. I'm a Christian, so obviously I'm not writing the sex and the what.
Yeah.
And you can see, I had a few comments like, wow, this is really great to read a story like this without like sex all up in my face. I was like, yes, guys, come on.
That's
so
it.
I think in that way, it was just shining the light on just wholesome, clean love, like without having to make it toxic, without just, you know, people like characters are just talking to each other. They're not shouting. They never scream at each other. They literally talk through each of their issues. And so it's just that kind of light that I wanted to just share, that, guys, love is healthy. Love is, it's pure. It's just, it's clean. It's just, it's nice. You know what I mean? I don't think when you see people fighting, and I'm like, that's not love. I don't know how this is something that you want to aspire to. In interior design, I think because I'm still in my first year, I'm trying to think how I would say shining light. I think right now it is just on myself, which sounds like what? But I think being a writer allows you to kind of be behind the scenes. But with being at school, it's not even the actual design process. I think right now I'm still learning about myself in that environment. So I think it's just shining the light on me. It gets awkward, it gets uncomfortable sometimes, because I'm like, so I can't do that much, and you know, this is where I struggle. So I think in terms of design, I haven't yet seen it. I know what I do want to see. The story that I would like to tell is just again with that thing of emotions. I think I did like a test for one assignment or something. They're saying that an emotive designer. Again, the same with my stories. I want people to walk into a space that I will have designed and feel something. I mean, you don't want to just like walk in and be like, okay, that's pretty. You want to like feel something. You want to like, wow, I'm at home, or like, ooh, like,
Yeah.
just feel something. So I think for me, I would say shining the light, I would say on emotions and just evoking positive emotions.
First of all, I want to give a shout outs to your parents.
Shout out mom
I
and
know them
dad.
personally, guys. Chiedza's parents are top tier.
100%.
But they also gave you a really, really profound name. And just as you've shared on that and expounded on that, I'm inspired. I'm feeling some type of way. Way, if you missed that reference.
Hey.
I'm feeling some type of way. Just thinking about what an artist,
Yeah.
a creative can just effect and present to the world through forms of art. And so, yeah, I'm really inspired, to be honest, because, man, that is so profound.
Thank you.
That is so profound.
I didn't even plan it like that.
No, I'm here for it.
It just happened.
No, I mean, when you're speaking to a wordsmith, come on, somebody.
Hey, guys, I write for a living.
Come on.
I have to be able to do the words, the English, the word. I can't slack.
Vocabulary.
Hey, grammar. Hey.
No, I'm here for it. I mean, actually, I want to double click on the connection between the creative and the artist, or the connection between the art and the artist.
Yeah.
How connected are you to your art, would you say?
I'm not very connected.
Interesting. I wasn't ready for that one.
I think, okay, so I am so focused, I believe, on, I want to say maybe it's like an act of service. It almost has nothing to do with me. For example, I've written now like 4 stories on love. Guys, I've never been in a relationship. So what am I writing about? Where? You know what I mean? So there's just that, like, I don't know personally. But I know what I believe about love. And so that's what I'm putting out.
Okay.
I think with interior design, it'll be just, being able to challenge myself and being able to, okay, how can I bring what you want and like bring this to life? Again, it's almost not about me. It's just about bringing that form. Like I said, it's about creating or evoking an emotion in people. So what I feel as I make it or when it's done is secondary to how the people who are going to interact with it and be in the space, how they're going to feel. So it's more about, I want you guys to feel this. Yes, I made it, and yes, it's great to be proud, but at the end of the day, I want you to be like, ooh, okay,
somebody.
I like that. So yeah.
No, I'm here for it. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it becomes a thing of being purpose-driven than passion-driven, if I can put it like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, just as you've said that you've placed an assignment on each work of art.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's not. I'm not there, Mos. I think it's just really. This is what helped me realize that I really am someone who's behind the camera and not in front of it. I think for the longest time, I also want to be in front. You want to be out here, like, hey, and then I'm like, nah. I think it makes me so much more happy to be behind and have created this thing and just watch people interact with it.
You're happy to be the mechanics in the light than being the light.
Like I don't want to be in the light. I am shining the light.
Yes.
I'm the one who's like, hey guys, look at that. And don't
shine bright like a diamond.
Yes, just like, wow, it's over there, it's great. But like, so I think
I must say that I definitely was pleasantly surprised by you stating that you are quite disconnected from the art. Because, I mean, initially the thought is that when you see art, it is an extension of the artist.
Yeah.
So I would say this. You are connected to your art, but just in a different way.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Yeah, and perhaps you can expand on that quickly.
I think again because like I said with the writing, I am sharing what I believe love is about. if I'm designing what I believe is beautiful, if that makes sense. So
I see what
it
you're
might
saying.
not be 100% that you're like, wow, that was definitely made by V, but I know that it was made by me because of what I put into it. It's my ideals, my beliefs that are coming out through that. Again, with the writing, I'm Christian, I'm not putting people having sex outside of marriage.
Yeah.
I'm not putting sex in general. You're not swearing, they're not drinking, doing drugs. Like, that's not happening because I don't believe in doing that.
Yeah.
I don't do that. So that's how that then comes out.
As an
But
extension.
yeah. So it's just, I think I would say my beliefs and my ideals are what are coming out, but it's not really a part of me. I think I guess I'm learning to be comfortable not being the artist who's like, this is everything that's come from my heart.
Pouring out.
Like, I'm like, I mean,
You start glitching. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I think that's just my form of look. This is the ideals that I believe in. It's just quietly ministering, quietly speaking, without being in your face like, hey, they're not doing sex. It's like, you get to the end and you're like, oh, they didn't. And you're like, yeah,
that is possible.
Yeah.
To have a fulfilling, wholesome
Hey.
love story without the...
Hey. No, because people think, and you're like...
Yeah, and I think that for me is very appealing.
Yeah.
When you take a short left on what is deemed to be right.
Yes.
Ooh, that wordplay was fire. When you take a short left on what is deemed to be right.
Bars.
Come on. Should I say it one more time? No, I'm just
Bars.
no, but yeah, it resonates. I mean, look, when you're storytelling, you're telling a story, you're telling your story.
Yeah.
And then the story can either teach, it can inspire, it can inform, it can transform. It can do so many things when you listen to a story, when you connect with a story.
Yeah.
And on that note, right, we get into the word when we're on this podcast. We also take L's. We try to find opportunities. We celebrate victories, and we exercise.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
But before we get into the love, because that's the love, I want to reference the Bible. I want to reference scripture. I want to reference the God who is love, right? At least in varying ways to sort of cement this foundation, right? Jesus Christ. I believe he's the greatest storyteller to ever live.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So if we're talking about storytelling here, right? What can you take from his stories, history? Come on. What can you take from his stories? Firstly, just as you learn, but also as you draw inspiration and imparting it into your art.
So right off the bat, I'm just thinking Jesus' stories, the parables, they always had an underlying meaning or message. So he's talking about, for example, a woman will lose a coin and she's going to search the whole house to find it. And you're like, okay, it's just one coin. But there's a lesson underneath that. So I think in that way, I would say that in the same way that on the surface, it's just, this is a couple that, fell in love. That's like the surface. And as you're listening or reading it, you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty, that's nice.
Yeah.
But if you go underneath it, for those who are willing to look underneath, I think there's also a parable about that, some seed will fall on like this and some seed falls here and some seed like takes root. So I think on the surface it's, okay, this is a really cute story. But I think if you were to go underneath, you would then kind of think, okay, there's something that's being shown here. There's something that's being championed, I think would be a good word. Just championed and like quietly saying, hey guys, love can be nice. You know what I mean?
I fully concur.
Yeah.
And it's quite unfortunate. It's sad. It's tragic. It's disheartening.
Yeah.
That the world, unfortunately, has unfavorable views on love, where
Yeah.
a lot of people have been hurt, brokenness, pain, disappointment,
Yeah.
etc.
Or the other spectrum, because I think toxic, I think that's the one thing I was fighting the hardest. I hate toxic, like rom-coms, guys, they're nice to watch and like, but if you sit and you really think that's trash, it's trash, it's wow. So I think what I really was fighting was not so much people who don't believe in love, it's in people who believe in a lesser version of love, that it's okay if he's screaming at you. And I think especially for women, let me be clear, actually, especially for women. In fact, that's another thing that was underneath. All my main characters are women, and I've set them up in such a way that they don't need the man, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
In all the stories, the guy approaches them like, yo, I need your help. I think for me, it's just setting women up to like, not like, we don't have to depend on men. Love is not just for his benefit, if that makes sense. So, they are clear on what they want. They have their straight up like views and stuff like that. So for me, it's more about healthy love, not just toxic. Because I think I see in relationships, you get either a lot of like broken relationships, people who come out of them hurt, or people who stay in just whack relationships. And you're like, really? That's what you want. That's it.
No, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in a world that celebrates what is quite perverse. We live in a world that lauds what is ungodly, improper, yet it becomes normalized, yet it becomes generally accepted.
Yeah.
And you have a story that will probably not be readily received by everyone.
Yeah.
Right? Considering, like, Jesus was out here confusing the masses with the plot twists. Especially when he would say, it's okay to leave the 99 and go pursue the one. Or if it's the woman who drops everything and pursues that one coin that seems worthless.
Yeah.
Right? So for you, what has it been like? Firstly, when you're struck by that idea, to take a left, if you're struck by that idea to add a plot twist, how has it impacted you?
Ooh.
What have you learned from it? Because that's where we want to get into the L's.
So I'm trying to think. So I think for me, we're talking about plot twists and where I have to. I think I always start having already decided that these are my principles. So stories which, and it's particularly sex, stories that have those shine. They literally like take off, I think, because people want to read that kind of content.
Sex sells.
100%. No, and it's not even a lie. But I think for me, it ends up being a plot twist in a different way. So I now have to look for a different way to present, this story. So other stories can kind of be a bit mediocre and just throw in a sex scene or a few and whatever and call it a day.
Yeah.
And people will still love it and respond to it. I now have to have the challenge of finding a different way to engage people to keep them there until the end. So you learn to I think I would say stick to your guns. I learned to like, okay. And I think for me as well, it gets hard because I've been outside the world. So I'm like, no, I really could I just have to do that. If I do this, I know it'll be great. I'm like, no. Your principles, mate. Your principles are like, no, you can't go where everyone else is going. You can't write the same way everyone else is writing. And so it just has taught me to be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? to just present the story in a different way, to find different ways to get to the end.
Approach, somewhat of a niche as well.
Yeah, and so I think God has been pretty faithful. So the site I was writing on was Wattpad, and what you find is that they have like reading lists per genre. And the first story I wrote, I think the first one is probably the one that has done the most successfully. I would look on like the ratings. I think I made it to like number 1, number 2 a few times. And so they have a little thingy that lets you know which stories are mature. And to see that I could be at the top and everyone else behind me is mature, I was like, so it can only be God must.
Come on.
I like, it really just felt like...
When your GPS is locating favor.
Hey? No, I was like, no, it really can only be like, I don't have any sex. I don't have any swearing. I don't have like, there's nothing that they have told me sells, that I've seen sells, and I am at the top. So I was like,
it's possible.
If you thought, you know. So I think for me, it's just learning to stick to your guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does that cost you?
The L's, the losses.
Yeah.
You know what? I think...
Can I just say, I really appreciate guests that prepare.
Hey.
For these podcasts, because she knows, she's caught the cue that when I'm talking about the other L.
I know, I already know.
What does it cost you?
So I think everyone who puts something out creatively, they can agree. You will agree. I think even you will agree that while for the most part you don't. It's not like I'm writing set. I want people to read it. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's out there, so I want you to read it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, that little disclaimer, it's the loss, I think I would say, of more readers. So you lose people along the way who are not there for what you're selling. I had someone ask me like, what is this, the Disney Channel, there's no sex scene? And I was like, yeah, straight up. Straight up. Sure. I remember just laughing because I was just like, wow. But it's just, I think you lose that. You lose, it's knowing that I could write that and do well. You know what I mean? Like, this is a great story. If I add that, you know, we could go up there. We could be up there. So it's like, okay, you lose. I think it's like that with every time you choose something about God over like going the world's way, you will always lose the followers, the people who are like, hey, you know, following.
Yeah, so it's just like you might lose rapport with certain people. You might lose clout. Yeah, you
might lose clout. You might lose even the opportunity. Do you see what I did there? You might even lose the opportunity.
Lead us. I'm here for it.
It is my podcast now.
Come on. I'm here for it.
But you lose the opportunities, I think I would say, that others might be more able to achieve. Because, again, because sex sells, when I think they have the editors, whatever, when the system is looking for stories to like promote or whatever, you do possibly lose out on that because you don't have that thing that they're looking for. So yeah.
Sure. That is, I think it's quite sad that you have, I mean, when you're creating something and you have set it in your mind to present it to the world, I think it's quite sad that some people just won't see it. Some people just won't connect with it.
I hear that, right? But I don't know. It might just be the light that sheds on us. But I think I'm just always looking at the people that are. So I'm like, okay, you know, I could have so many more. But I've had people who will tell me I'm reading this for the 5th time. I'm like, wow, dude, what? I don't know if I've read it that many times. Like, you're reading this for the 5th time, and people who come back. I remember I'm not even on TikTok, and I have a specific section of readers who tell me, "Hey, I'm here from TikTok. Came here from TikTok." I'm like, "What? How did you? What?
How did we get here?
Like how? Ooh!" And they're
Yeah.
like, "No, someone shared it on TikTok. Was like, this is a really great read." And so we're here. So I think for me, I think in the grander scheme, it is sad to think that, yo, guys, I'm giving you clean, wholesome content. You don't want that? But I focus more on the people who do.
Yeah.
The people who are just like, wow, this is just crazy. And I'm like, I mean, it's crazy that you think it's crazy. So it's like, we all just must think it's crazy.
No, and I think that's where the opportunity is.
Yeah.
There's a principle that I learned about a couple of years ago that I think resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah.
The 2080 rule, or the
Yeah.
2080 principle, where if you look at a company, for example,
Yeah.
it's actually sustained by 20% of the personnel
Yeah.
that then do 80% of the work. Or if it's a community that has its core, that is, it's functioning alive and thriving because of 20% of the community
Yeah.
that are active and participating.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think there's always an opportunity to really attend to and deliver
Yeah.
to those 20%, to
Yes.
that 20.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
It's just, I think if you really appreciate the people that you do have, and like, yeah, and it's not like I'm seeing small numbers though. Let's just,
Yeah.
let me do it like not even a humble brag. Let me just straight up be like, I got this. But the numbers are doing great. So it's like, no, people respond to this. A lot of people are responding to this. So it's like, I don't know. It's like you're saying, it's that opportunity to be able to just keep presenting something beautiful for the 20%. And, you know, that 20% I think keeps growing because it keeps being, it may still be 20%.
In the numerical sense, right? Not a
Yes.
percentage sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it literally, like, it might be 20%, but it might be 20% of 1,000. It might
And
be
then it
20%
becomes
of 100,000. Like, it
Uh-huh.
literally, it's still 20%, but
Yeah.
that
Sure.
number grows. So it's like, no, I love my little club, my little squad.
No,
the
I'm here
gang.
for it. It's so fascinating. I want to just highlight something you said about one person reading a particular story 5 times, and you're like, I haven't even read it that many times.
Yeah.
Right. I recently experienced that. So I'm a recording artist, right?
Yes, you are.
Uh,
Yes, he is.
Praise be to God. I'm a recording artist, and earlier today, I was creating some artwork for my promotion and marketing, and so I went to one of the platforms that my music is on, right? So of course, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, etc., etc. So one of the platforms, which is AudioMac, has tens of thousands of plays on the music, right? And so you're looking at the data, the trends, who's listening, where they're listening from, what are they listening to within the projects that I've produced. And I noticed one listener, because it breaks it down, the metrics actually break it down to like the top listeners. And there's one listener that has listened to an entire project. Right. So it's the latest EP. They've listened to that project 184 times.
Mad.
It's mad. It's mad. Because I mean, I will tell you, like, at least with one song, I can listen to it. And if it's the production phase, you're listening to it to refine it, to edit and whatever. I can probably, in a week, I can listen to one song like 5 times. Right. Or if it's a hectic one where there's a pressure, maybe it's like 15 times. Not 184. And this is the
whole
project.
album.
Yeah, this is the project, not the song. Which means certain songs they've listened to it more times. I'm just like,
thank you. Shout out.
Right. So I think then I really also just resonate with what you said then about it's not about you, or rather that it's bigger than you. When yes, there's some fulfillment in you doing what you're doing, but there's someone else who's blessed and edified and inspired beyond that. So, man, this has been a wholesome conversation.
Yeah.
Even if it's not done yet. I'm excited because now, of course, we got to talk about if there's something that you're learning.
Yeah.
And you find opportunities, you get to celebrate victories.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So some of your milestones, please share those. What you've celebrated and how it made you feel.
So I celebrate every time. So on the Wattpad platform, they do have suggestions. Okay, I stopped writing now. And I feel like maybe you can talk about that at the end.
Yeah.
But I was taking screenshots every time any one of my stories popped up there. Wow. I was like, this is a win. I never expected to be here. I think the whole journey I've realized, like writing on Wattpad and getting more than 1,000 reads is very unheard of. So unheard of that whilst they still had the community, that was one of the, like, how do you get more reads, guys? How do you get more reads?
Yeah.
Because hitting 1,000 doesn't really happen. Hitting 10,000, wow. So I celebrate every time I would see a story there. Just screenshot that, wow, that's nice. I celebrate numbers because, I mean, those are important. Currently, last time I checked, I had about 1.2k followers. My best read is just under 750,000 reads. The second one, 130,000. Third one, about 40,000. The last one, the latest one, was selling about 3-4. So I was celebrating like that. I'd celebrate every time my followers hit 100 and the hundreds, because I'm like, yo guys, some people don't have followers like that. And I'm like, the fact that y'all are like, I like this so much, I'm going, like, I'm very picky about who I follow. So I'm assuming everyone else is picky about who they follow. So I'm like, snap, you follow me?
Oh, you.
Yeah, so literally like you'll see on my feed, like people will be saying like, yo, I'm almost every week when I was writing, I'd be like, yo, first of all, this, like, just give an update. And then be like, yo, first of all, welcome new followers. I know y'all are out there. Like, hey, thanks. So those are the milestones that I celebrate. I think especially because knowing the platform and knowing that it's not easy, knowing that I'm not writing popular content that I can attribute it to, it's just the metrics. So I think for me, it's just the victories literally is just, the whole thing for me is a win. I've tried writing on Wattpad before this stint in my younger years and, barely, I don't know if I ever hit 100 reads. So to now be in a place where you're hitting hundreds of thousands, I'm like, dang. I was like, hey. So yeah, so I think for me, this is why the platform and just writing on Wattpad just has such a soft place in my heart, because I'm like, I know it's not easy. I know it doesn't just happen. But I mean, and the numbers keep climbing. So it's like this thing just literally just keeps growing. I'm not writing anymore, and I remember telling my readers like, yo guys, I don't really write anymore. I'm not really sure where I'm at. At that point, I wasn't really sure. And you have like support. People are like, oh my gosh, like, no, I understand that. No, do what works for you. And I'm like, I don't deserve this. Why are you so nice?
No, because I get you. I mean, you get some artists when they actually. Let me not. I feel like I should even say a name. Rihanna has gone through the most, right? Where she's like, guys, okay, this music thing, I need to make some money. Some of her fans, like on her post, they're like, yeah, it's great that you're doing this, but wait, we want this.
Where's the album? Yeah, Oh, that sucks so much.
I think artists go through quite a lot when you have people that are that connected to your work. And so
it's kind of
that kind of grace that you get is something to
it's kind of needy. It's kind of needy. I think it also sucks. I think also as someone putting out stuff, I think you realize that there are some people who really are only here for your content. I think it sucks, especially if you're someone who's connected. I think for me, because I don't have that connect, it's a little bit easier on my heart because I'm like, I know who I was writing for.
Yeah.
But if you have like fans and people are like, I mean, there's this one YouTuber from Zim. Well, he's in England, but Munya Chawawa.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen him. And like, it makes me so upset when people are like commenting like, okay, but give us like this kid, because he does like characters. Like, give us this character. No, this would be so great for this character. I'm like, y'all get out. Get out. Get out. Like, he's in his bag. He really is in his bag. Like, he's doing what he does. I think it kind of sucks. If you're one of those people, please stop. It kind of sucks when someone is, because I don't do it, but I can understand if you're pouring out, if you're giving something. Like, Rihanna's literally like out here giving people like beauty brands that are like, you know, accommodating and accessible to all skin tones. Like, that's great, guys. Like, as black people, we know we don't have that. So why are you like, come on, guys, come on, like, support her. I know you love the music, but like, I think just, you know, hashtag support artists, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a side. It's a little.
Yo, man, I firstly shout out on the numbers.
Thank you.
Yo, guys, this woman is literally quarter to clocking 1 million reads.
I am.
Can that sink
I am.
in?
Let it settle. Let it simmer.
Yo, like on some, no, that's wild. And shout out to you. Shout out to
Thank
God.
You.
That is incredible. That is
Hallelujah.
phenomenal.
Amen.
But surely, yo, you've had to prepare for it in some way. You've had to grow in one way or another. What has it taken? Because what are you exercising to do this? Like, how are you?
So I think on a platform like Wattpad, it's always important to remember that people are readers are people too, if that makes sense. They're not just numbers. So for me, I've had to exercise being responsive, because I think as artists, you know, people are commenting on like, I mean, I'm not saying I reply to every comment. I think the comments that I do reply to now, actually, they have these things, the first time reads. So a lot of people like will comment, this is my first time read or whatever, it's just FTR.
Yeah.
And I've committed that every single one of them I will reply.
Okay.
I will reply all of them, and then I also like take the step further. I'm like, and I try hard not to make it the same response. So I started initially with hi, hey. Then I went to like hey, and then I went to like, you know, slides over some fries. It's just literally just being creative, just to make someone feel like this is not just a thanks for reading. Yeah. And then I also always respond to people who tell me it was a great story at the end of the book. Always responding to that and just saying, oh my gosh, thank you. And like, wow. And yeah, so I think for me it's exercising responsiveness, exercising gratitude. I mentioned about starting like update posts with like thank you and welcome to like all the new followers, telling them like I love y'all, and I really do. I think that's what made like leaving so hard, because I'm like, you guys mean a lot in terms of just the fact that you are here, you're reading, you're supporting, and like sharing and stuff like you don't have to do all that, and you do. So I think for me it's just exercising gratitude, and just practically, again, I think Wattpad allows you to be able to do that, where you can respond. So I do respond faithfully to the first time readers, to the people at the end who say this was great, and then I also like laugh in between, because like you can comment on certain sections in the book. So people will say some outlandish things and I'm dying with them, fighting with them, like, you know, just interacting. So cool. And I think so I think that's what I really like about the platform as well. Like, you get to interact. People will say something and like I get to fight them as well. I remember there's a character who has like, in one book, my one character's like, oh, Zac Efron. And the people in the comments were like, nah, she did not. And I was like, wow, y'all
No,
are
you
haters.
didn't.
So I was like, okay, I got you. The next book, Zac Efron had his phase where he had like ice blonde hair or something like that. So I made my character have ice blonde hair, and I was like, okay, so did I give him ice blonde hair to spite y'all? You'll never know. But it's just that kind of just like relationship. So
That
I think
bit of
it's
jeering.
yes,
That bit of,
yeah. So it's just, I think it's just exercising gratitude, exercising just fun, and being able to just interact and appreciate what I've got going on here.
Yeah. So like I'm present. I'm really present. This is it's part of that connection thing.
Yeah.
That we spoke about, that you are connected, you can be connected, although it will look different to me, it will look different to you, it will look different for us. So I think exercising, like being present, I think is really, really, really important.
And I think I am that person who believes that if you have people who support you, just show that gratitude. People say like, I mean, if you believe in like, remember where you came from. That's not the angle I take it from. It's just like, look, bro, you really wouldn't be out here without these people. So like understanding like what that means to me, like, wow, guys, like you guys have read this, like the numbers look like this, like this is all you. It's God as well, like bringing readers. But I'm like, y'all are here, you're interacting. The least, and it doesn't even cost me anything. So it's like the least you can do.
You have to exercise humility.
You literally just respond, just reply. It's a few emojis. It's a lol. It's a what? It's like it's just that, and you just get to just interact with people. So
now I'm here for it. Again, I can relate to that. I mean, as people have been interacting with the podcast on YouTube especially. I've really tried my best to engage. I think it does get to a place where it's not practical. Like if you're like Justin Bieber, right? Who has millions of followers. It's not possible.
But I mean, at the same time, you can like every once in a while just drop in and be like, y'all, I love y'all. Thank you so much for following.
Definitely. I think like at this stage where it is possible, where you have 5 people that have watched or 5 people that have commented. Engage them.
100%. It costs you nothing.
No, I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. So storytelling, all right? Just as we round up the conversation, I don't know if I should ask you this.
Go for it.
I
I am challenged. I want it. Bring the question.
Are you gonna pick up a pen again?
Oh. So that is, now I'll tell a story.
Come on.
That I did there. So I am not writing because I am now doing interior design. So there is this concept, I think I'll say coined, or that I learned from a Christian self-help author called Jordan Rayner. And he's written a book about it. I've just read the plan on the Bible app. But it talks about being a master of one thing. And so I think for me, writing, I've always been writing from the point of view of, I started Wattpad because I wanted to practice my skills so that I could eventually write a book that I could sell and be a writer and earn money from that. But at some point, writing just wasn't it anymore. There was something that was missing. And so after doing some searching, I was like, okay, let's go back to the basics. What do you like? What are you about? And interior design came up. Now, those who know me know I am notorious for having stated with fire, I will never go back to school. You will not see me there. I will never. I'm out. I tell people I've been wanting to drop out since I was 16. I'm like, I don't want to do this. So the fact that interior design got me back into school speaks volumes in itself about how much this must mean to me. I know myself. I'm not the kind of person who can entrepreneur themselves. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I have what it takes. I wouldn't be confident just like, let me just do like a quick online something and start. So I was like, no, I want the background. I want the confidence. I want the experience.
Yeah.
So I do interior design now, and I love that. And we spoke about how that allows me to tell a story. Because again, the episode is about I love telling stories. Will I ever write again? You know, I believe that it's possible.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. But in the foreseeable future, I don't think so. Because I want to be able to focus on and master and be great at interior design. I am not seeing enough black female interior designers, not just locally, just internationally.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing enough. And you know, be the change you want to see in the world.
Come
You know
on.
what I mean? So I was like, okay, I really want to be that. I have already my own philosophies and ideas about what I believe design should be like. So that is the new story that I'm telling, I think I would say. Yeah. So I don't know. I might also not write fiction. As a Christian, I've often dabbled with the idea of writing a Christian self-help kind of book. So that's possible. That's telling a story. In the meantime, I just write about myself on my statuses. I love to expose
Guys,
my struggles.
I'm not saying that you must ask Venekai for her number, but I think you're missing out on a status.
Holler at the girl.
Like, slide in the DMs and be like, yo, can I get your number though?
Yeah,
So I can
but-
see your statuses.
Yeah, no. So I think I tell a story in that way. I tell my story now. What I'm currently experiencing. It's very important to me as a Christian to be able to share. Sometimes I think Christians just get very like, not detached, very. You ask them how you doing, and you know they're going through a tough time. I'm blessed. I'm like, yeah, it's okay to say that you're struggling and you hate this. It's okay. Like, no, this is trash. I hate this. I don't want to be here. Why am I here?
Yeah.
It's okay to say that. It's okay to say, yo, I'm failing. I'm not doing that great.
The game is hot.
Yeah. I think Christians, if they do share, they want to just share like, I'm winning, promotion. And you're like, cool. But it's not always like that.
Yeah.
And why are you quiet when, tell us.
Yeah.
No, God, because I just believe that God is always there. And I believe that is what impacts people. When I think, what do people want to see from Christians? I'm always like, I think people want to see relatability. You want to see something that you can, again, connect to, just that emotion. So that's how I tell stories now. I just share from myself. Yeah.
Now I'm here for it. Guys, you really might want to consider sliding in the DMs. This woman is funny. She's captivating.
Thanks.
She's entertaining. She's inspiring.
We try.
That's why I was like, yo, you definitely need to pull through to Love on a Podcast. And I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I wish you well
Thank you.
in your journey.
Yeah, because school, guys.
Yay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ne?
Yeah.
Good people. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to Venekai-Chiedza.
You're welcome.
The light.
Ha.
Come on. The radiant.
They
the
better-
glowing.
You better recognize.
The flourishing. I'm here for it. No, thank you so much. Are you active on social media, by the way?
Oh, no.
Because then you can plug yourself.
I have no social media. You'll catch me in real life. How about that?
I'm here for it. I'm glad I know her. I don't know about you.
I swear.
Yeah.
I swear.
I feel like a very important person because I know this woman.
Yeah.
Personally.
Hey.
I know someone who has almost 1 million reads.
You better recognize.
That's a flex, guys. It's a flex. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Love on a Podcast, Episode number 9, guys.
That's fire.
We're moving.
That's fire.
We're going. It's week 6. Stay tuned for next week. It's gonna be a jam. And I'm really, really excited about it. We're moving. Remember, good people, to love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Loved him.
Love on a podcast.